I discovered my passion for photography like 5 years ago when I moved to the UK, and like everything was so different. The buildings, the views from Romania was really different. So I started taking a lot of pictures and posting them on Instagram.
So I discovered my passion for film when my parents worked for a local TV company. And one time when they took me to the studio where they worked, I just found that fascinating. The recording room, the editing room, just the whole studio was just insane to me as a little kid. And then afterwards, when I started, just bought my first camera and I started recording my own little things.
I first discovered my passion for filmmaking when I think it was in lockdown. I was bored and I loved superheroes. I'm a bit of a nerd and a geek when it comes to that. So I decided one day I'm just gonna write my own superhero film, and it had I loved it. I loved writing, and then I got into more writing with other franchises, but I loved it, and I realised this is something I could probably do, because at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do.
I discovered my passion for art when I was younger. I think I've always had a passion for it because of my family. My mum's an artist and my sister did art as well, so we're all quite a creative bunch. When I was little, I always wanted to be like my sister because I could see she could draw like amazing from a young age, and I kind of wanted to be like her. So I really got into it and drew a lot. But I've always been creative, like in preschool, like painting and on the Etch-a-Sketch. So it kind of came naturally to me.
The story I tell is that when I was little, I used to play around with it, and I had a shoebox lid once, and I started just mixing finger painting all over the shoebox, and my parents looked at it and actually thought it was quite good, and they kept it and gave it back to me when I was interested in art again at school. So they kept it all those years, and that was kind of like and then I kind of got slowly interested in it again, and here we are. So I think it started from a young age.
I feel like my voice have been the same. I've been focusing on like the retro, like 90s or the 2000s kind of vibe, kind of themes, like skater and hip hop, all of that. But in the near future, I definitely want to shift away from that topic and try to develop something new, something I've not done before, just so I kind of push myself and I get myself out of my comfort zone.
My voice stays pretty much the same through every piece I do because I want to relate everything to fashion and make everything look kind of editorial. I related every piece of my work to magazines, and since I started, that's kind of what I did.
I think my voice definitely can change piece to piece, as sometimes my art can be very personal to me. However, I do look at it as how would everyone perceive this? And not only has it got a story that might relate back to me, I let it be a voice for other people as well. I let it be open to interpretation where anyone could look at it and somehow it would still relate to them and their own personal story. And I think that's more special than anything. That's kind of relative throughout all my pieces, but I think that sometimes I use different voices through my work.
So far, my voice throughout my filmmaking has changed quite drastically, I'd say. I'm experimenting a lot with my films. I'm experimenting with the tones, with the themes, and the drama and the conflict of just the storytelling in general. I'm experimenting with a lot of it.
It changes all the time. I don't think there is a moment where art stands still. I think it's always developing and moving. Like my feelings always change, and the world always changes, so it's always changing. Yeah, bad. That's all.
I don't really feel much pressure personally, because I know that at this stage in my life I have to make mistakes, I have to learn, and I have to find what works for me. I know that I have to create things for myself more so, and to progress my abilities and skills, and I must find ways to evolve. So I don't feel pressured just yet. I think maybe when I get a bit older, maybe when I go to university, I think definitely I feel the pressure. But right now I don't really feel the pressure, because I'm just making what I want to make.
As a young artist, I don't feel any pressure, but I feel like that relates a lot to my teacher, Marie, who makes me feel really free and relaxed whenever I do my work, and she inspires me a lot. So I don't feel any pressure. I feel like I can do whatever I want and it will be great.
Yeah, I just feel pressured to make it look good, because I feel like there's a standard that people walk past art all the time. They won't pay any mind to it. But I want people to stop and look at it. So I do feel a little bit of pressure. It's something I'll have to get past, I think, though, because part of me doesn't want to create art for other people, because I don't think it would be my best work if it was for someone else and not for myself.
Definitely think I feel pressure. I think we all feel pressure sometimes. I think it's mostly because sometimes you can get quite lost in a lot of the theory side of it, and a lot of people forget that art's not just making art, it's a lot that goes into it, the research and the annotation, and sometimes you can get quite lost in that, and I find I do, and I've not created in a while, and I'll go back to it and I might have lost my groove a bit, and then I produce something and I hate it, and I just think, why bother? And I think as artists we definitely compare ourselves a lot to other people, but I try to celebrate the little things. Like with my play, I try to be like, yeah, I did that all on my own.
I don't feel that much pressure, but definitely I feel like as I go on, I will feel some pressure later on, when the business gets a bit more competitive, a bit more real. So when I'm in college, so there's nothing they want to compete with really, other than like myself. But later on, in uni conditions, when there's a lot more competitors out there, like my uni mates and all that, I'll probably feel some pressure, and so something that will even benefit me maybe, to get better and improve my work and my skills. So yeah.